Hello my darlings, it's Zui here, and today I have a Boku no Hero fanfiction as per usual. This one is Bakugou X-Listener. I hope you enjoy it. But before we dive right into it, I would like to ask you for some financial support. I have both a Patreon and a merch store. Both links are down in the description. It would be nice if you could support me there. However, if you don't have the money to do so, you can also support me more indirectly by making YouTube pay me a little bit more. Simply watch the video until the end, like or dislike it, comment something below, anything really. Why don't you post your favorite part of the video down below? Yeah, that would be something. And share the video around. Share it as far as you can. If you can get just one person interested in watching my videos, I will be eternally grateful to you. Now, please, enjoy the show. It had been weeks since the last time you had gotten a full night's sleep. You were just too worried about school, about work, and training. No matter what you did, you felt as if any moment not spent on schoolwork was worsening your performance. Luckily, no one noticed your change in behavior yet, so at least you didn't need to feel any embarrassment for not being able to deal with this. In addition, there was a certain amount of jealousy. After all, your classmates didn't seem to have such problems. They were happily chatting the days away with each other, which made you feel even more like a failure. It became exceedingly harder to concentrate on Aizawa's lesson. Your teacher turned the lecture about hero philosophy into a rant about popular heroes who in his eyes were just posers and didn't really deserve it. Part of you wanted to tell him to get back to the main topic, but when Ida did that the last time, everyone was mad at him for the rest of the day, including you. So it became an unwritten rule to just let the man talk and enjoy the quasi-break. With a teacher who took his two jobs this serious, moments like this were incredibly amusing. Your teacher had just reached a crescendo of varied censored insults about Mount Lady when your head hit the desk. You had fallen asleep for less than a minute. The quiet bomb, however, was loud enough to get the attention of the entire class, including your teacher. "Excuse me, is my lecture too boring for you?" "No," you stuttered, barely able to contain a yawn, making your entire body tense up painfully in the process. "It looked like you were falling asleep," growled Aizawa. The look on his face made your blood freeze. "Please, just move on." The looks of your classmates and your angry teacher were becoming too much. And then you broke down. You knew crying wouldn't get you anywhere, and you knew how it made you look like. But you needed release. Unable to contain yourself. You didn't even notice when soft hands began to reach around you. You were unable to think, and just went with it. You didn't know who it was, but you also didn't care. But someone was guiding you outside, their hand gently resting on your shoulder. After you regained some composure, meaning you calm down enough to question the things happening around you. You looked up. The person next to you, the one to push you outside, was Bakugou of all people. The blonde had a weird grimace of both anger and annoyance, and maybe that was wishful thinking, but was that concern on his face? He was mumbling curses, as per usual. Sorry, you sniffled. I'm sorry. He didn't answer at first. You're probably shouting sorry in your hysteria, so maybe he didn't notice your slow return to composure. Bakugou? You asked. The look he gave you, nothing more than a glance, was enough to quiet you down again. After a few seconds passed, he asked, "What?" His what stung. He sounded so angry. "Where are we going?" You stuttered as you were finally able to check your surroundings. You are right now in UA's lobby. "We're going to the dorms," you whimpered. To pack my bags? Please, no, I'm sorry." Bakugou stopped dead in his tracks. "What are you talking about? Pack your bags? You really think they'll kick you out so easily? After that?" You let out a whimper, and with quivering lips you answered, "Yes." The boy groaned. "I beat the shit out of Deku, and all I got was a month of taking out the trash. And worse, you get detention or something. And then only because of the classes you'll be missing now." You gave him a confused look. "What? You think after that performance you should go back for the rest of today's classes? This is a hero school, idiot. No one would let you." He paused. "Including me." You blushed. You two fell silent again. As you walked the gravel path to the dorms, but eventually he opened his mouth. "When was the last time you got a full night's sleep?" You sniffled and wiped away the tears that were still rolling down your cheeks. "I don't know. 2 weeks?" "It was more than that." Bakugou groaned. "Why the hell didn't you tell anyone?" You gulped, feeling ashamed. "I thought I needed to do this alone. I mean, others can." He sighed in annoyance, almost making you whimper in embarrassment. "Idiot. That rich chick Momo is tutoring the lower extras." He paused for a moment. "What I mean is, most of them are helping each other out." You looked at him. "Of course, I don't need her dumb lessons. But when you need it, you should take it." You blushed. "How do you do it?" You asked. "What?" he barked. "Deal with school, training, friends, everything." He sighed. "I got something you don't have. Confidence in my abilities. I read this stuff twice, and I'm confident enough that I remember it for a test. And look at that. Here I am." You felt as if someone had set your butt on fire. Up until now, you hadn't realized how important confidence was when it came to learning. By now, the two of you had reached the dorms, and he sat you down on the sofa in the community room. Your body was shaking as it tried to stay awake. Calm down, he growled. Easier said than done. He crossed his arms and mumbled something. He then left for the small kitchen aisle and came back with a warm glass of milk. I'm not going back until you drank all of that. Your stomach turned. You had no appetite. And the thought of putting anything in your mouth made you retch. You prepared yourself for a moment and then gulped the white liquid down. When you slammed the glass back on the table, you were out of breath. Your eyes now unable to focus. But you were still shaking too much, which agitated the explosive bond. What else do you need? His anger was somehow adorable, and you needed to suppress a giggle. I don't know, you said. I don't feel at peace enough. Too much adrenaline. For a moment he angrily chewed on one of his fingers before saying, If you tell anyone about this, I'll kill you. Before you could ask, he already had sat down next to you. With his arm around your shoulder, he gently pushed you down onto his lap. You blushed hard, and your heart fluttered for a moment. Then his calloused hand combed through your hair, while his other hand gently rubbed circles over your tummy. He didn't say anything, but you glanced at the TV that stood opposite to the sofa. You could see in your reflection that not only he was blushing too, he also was completely focused at looking into a random direction, trying to avoid looking at you at all cost. It was awkward, cute, and comforting. You felt at ease, protected, and eventually, you closed your eyes. After a while, you could feel him sliding off of you. So drunken from your sleepy days, you grabbed his arm and began cuddling with it as if it was a teddy bear. And it took him a lot of composure to not stop protesting.